Hey, shalom everyone. I don't know. All my life I wanted to be a lot of things. One of them was a ballet dancer. Um, you need so much balance to be a ballet dancer. And that was on my mind when I read this week Parsha. Because I thought about dancers and what keep their balance. What keep all of us like in this chaotic world in good balance? Well, in usually when you're starting to learn dance or kind of sport, anything, and you want to stand on one foot. So sometimes it's hard for some of us. So one of the first things that they tell us to do is just find a point in the room, right? Look straight there and then start to stand on one foot. And that will help your balance. You need a point, you need an anchor. And I thought about this anchor when I read our parasha, because the parasha is really interesting in a lot of ways. But the one thing that I wanted to speak today was about the beginning of the end of our parasha. In the beginning of our parasha, Yaakov asked from Yosef to swear, to do a vow that he will take Yaakov and bury him in Canaan. And we say when Mal'u Yemei Yaakov, Yaakov knows that he's going to die, and that's what he wants from Yosef. That's the first thing. Just promise me that you will take me and bury me home in Canaan. And the end of our parasha is like 3 psukim of Yosef after they came back, apparently, from burying Yaakov in Canaan. And Yosef is the one that's going to die. And he says to his brothers, I want you to promise me that eventually, when you'll go out of Egypt, when the redemption will come, you will take me with you and bury me in Israel, in Canaan. And those two situations are so similar in the same parasha, the parasha that conclude this amazing book of Bereshit. And they are very similar and very different. And it's worthwhile to think about those two similarities and of course the difference. Because both of them is Mal'u Yamav Lamut, like we are starting to speak about the end of the life of Yaakov and Yosef, and both of them speaking about the redemption, הגאולה. הנה אנוכי מת, והיה אלוהים עמכם, והשיב אתכם אל ארץ אבותיכם. Eventually, God is with you, and eventually you will go back to the land of your fathers, your patriarch. That's what Yaakov says. And also, ויאמר יוסף אל אחיו, אנוכי מת, ואלוקים פקוד יפקוד אתכם, והעלה אתכם מן הארץ הזאת, אל הארץ אשר נשבע לאברהם, ליצחק וליעקב. I'm going to die, but eventually God will take you to the land that he promised to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And as I said, both of them are asking, please bury me in Canaan, but the difference is that Yaakov says, take me now. And Yosef says, eventually, I want that you will take me with you. Now, when we're speaking about the personality of both of them, it's kind of understood, right? Because Yaakov is not an Egypt person yet. Yaakov is a Canaan person. He came to Egypt because of his son, because of the Ra'ab, the famine. He wants to be home. He wants to bury at home in Marat HaMachpelah, near his family, with his family. That's understood, right? And he says, please take me. And all of his sons and their families going when eventually, a couple of psukim after he gave them all the blessings, they are taking him home to be buried in Canaan. Yaakov is an Egypt person. Although he was born in Canaan, his life, his main things that he did was in Egypt. So it's kind of understood that he's not now, take me home to Canaan to be buried, but still he wants eventually to be buried in Israel, in Canaan. And I think that from those 2 points of view, eventually, especially when the idea of when we are speaking now at the time of the end of Sefer Bereshit. That's the last parasha that we are speaking of Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, the children of Yaakov as a family, because from the beginning of the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus, we are starting to speak about Bnei Israel as a nation. That's the change, right? Here is the change. And also here there are people that are living in Egypt in good fare, in Goshen, in Egypt, and they have the good life there, although it's not Canaan. But from the next parasha, we know that it won't continue like that. And even if in the words of Yaakov and Yosef, we understand that both of them know that it will take time till Bnei Israel will go out of Egypt. And maybe this promise of Yaakov and Yosef is 2 ways to help them go through till the Geula, till they will go out of Egypt. Yaakov says, take me home, because whenever you'll be in Egypt and you will be slaves in Egypt and it will be hard, you will remember that somewhere someone is waiting to you. There is a land, Canaan, that is waiting for you, and eventually you will be there. So it will give you hope. It will give you the ability even to think that there are things, something good will happen, a big hope after you'll go out of Egypt. That's maybe Yaakov's model. But what is Yosef's model? Maybe Yosef is the point that we need to look in the room to be able to stay balanced. Yosef says, I'm here with you. But the idea that I know that the redemption will come, the Geulah will come, you'll go out of Egypt. My body will stay here with you. And whenever it will be hard, just balance on this point. Look at my body and remember, eventually we will go back to Israel. I know that. And I'm that sure about it that I could say, please take me with you. I'm here, I'm this point in the room. Like if I'm taking the ballot from the beginning. So we have the idea that I want to be a dancer. I want to have great balance. I have the idea of what I want to be eventually. That could help me. But now when I'm starting to try to keep on balance, the idea that that's what I want, maybe even just will make me more, in stress. It won't necessarily help me. But the idea that there is a point in the room, if I will look, that I will put אני אכוון אותה, אני אהיה מדויקת, I will be exactly what I'm not here now in English, that I will know exactly where to look and I will have faith in this specific point. The point is not making me balance here. It's not magic. It's just that somewhere to put my eyes and to be very chada, like to the point, and eventually I would be able to stand on one foot for a long time. And then I would be able to work in this chaotic and not easy status and place that eventually will happen now to Bnei Israel when they will be slaves in Egypt. So we have it, it's not this or that. Both of them are 2 things that they are giving us. Farewell from Sefer Bereshit. Take me with you to Sefer Shemot. The idea that we have Canaan and the idea that it will really, really going to happen. Yosef says, I'm here. I'm waiting with you to the redemption, to the going out of Egypt. And I think although New Year's Eve is not ours, but the idea that people now a lot speak about what was this year. And in one sentence, they speak about how bad was this year, right? COVID, election, all the chaos in the world, and how we are handling in this chaos, in the idea that we need to be on one foot, that we don't have the balance of normal, regular life that we were used to. So we have here two ideas. First, the hope and the faith that eventually everything will be fine and we will go back to our normal lives, Be'ezrat Hashem, soon as possible. That's a great idea for, to the future. But what will help me now when I'm feeling that I don't have balance, that all my life have changed now? What is the thing, what is my Yosef in my life that helped me go through this specific time? What is your Yosef? What is helping you now? Where is your anchor that help you to be stable? I hope that part of it's our beautiful community. Maybe part of it is the vaccination that started. I don't know how it's in the US. Here in Israel, it's really thrilling. Yeah, I can say that it's thrills because a lot of people here got them already or started to get them. And I wish us all that we will think about this. Not just that eventually it will be good, because it's not that helpful all the time when you are not in your balanced mood. But what is the point in the wall? What is your Yosef that helps you to go through some not balanced time in our life and help you believe that eventually you will be balanced? Shabbat Shalom, that we will have a great Shabbat and the opening of Sefer Shemot, the opening of this voyage, this Masa of Bnei Israel will bring us joy and will bring us faith and hope and power to have a great continue of the year / civil year. Shabbat Shalom.